First of all, this has been a tremendous commitment. There has been a plan B ever since we first got involved with the previous company, Gladiacoin. We thought for sure, myself, Simon, Sarah, a lot of you that are here on this call that were with us, thought we had at least like a 3 to 5 year run. That's what we were planning for and hoping for. And we didn't know it was going to only be a 60-day run. They're still trying to make attempts there to get people square on the Bitcoin that they had, which I applaud them for that effort. But nonetheless, so we had to come to a decision, and the hardest part was making the commitment. I mean, the pieces of the puzzle were all there. It's like, do you want to make the commitment? Because it takes a lot. It takes away from your family time, your personal time, and it's all out. It's from morning to night. And it's not just me, ladies and gentlemen, it's everybody that's part of this amazing team and the support system. They're working so hard to bring this out, because typically a project like this would take 6 months to a year, okay? And we're trying to rush this out in a period of 5 weeks. So have a little bit of patience as I go through this, because, you know, there might be a few bugs that have to be ironed out from here and there, but we're going to stay on top of that and do the best that we possibly can. All right. So let's talk about what is going to happen here during the first 7 days. First of all, we're going to do what we would call or consider a soft launch. And so the first 7 days, it's going to enable leaders to be able to position their teams, look at that, without purchasing a plan. You know, how many companies do you see that launch and they try to sell founders packages in order to fund the company? Well, you know, we didn't do that. We want you to be able to work with the teams that you have and be able to position them within the next 7 days once the site goes live, and you don't have to purchase a plan. So that way you can take your time. You don't have to feel pressured. Some people don't have their wallets set up. Some people need to get Bitcoin. We're allowing for all those conditions to take place. Now, the members who want to join, they must use a sponsor link, and there can be no mutual entering of any individual without their permission. So don't just go in and think that you can go into the back office and start loading up, you know, a bunch of positions without first notifying the people. Let's do this the right way with integrity. You're going to put your spot in. You're communicating with your team. You know who your first two are going to be. They know who their first two are going to be. And we wanted to be able to populate that genealogy within the first 7 days, so everybody has, you know, like their teams in play. All right. There is not going to be any automatic withdrawals. You know, and a lot of companies out there, Gladiacoin included, you know, they started out at 0.03, then they raised that to 0.1, and a lot of people weren't able to see immediate results. And we thought, you know, that it's really not a good marketing tool if people are going to come on board and they have to wait a certain length of time, because as you know, most people they want to see results before they gain the confidence or the belief in order to share COINXL with the people that they care about. And so we're going to allow our members to decide when and how much they want to withdraw their Bitcoin profits, and that's going to be their discretion. So there's not going to be any of the automatic deposits. I mean, if you've got $10 worth of Bitcoin and you want to deposit that into your blockchain wallet, then, you know, listen, that's going to be your prerogative. What we feel is going to happen, and because of the fact now people are going to be able to see results in 24 hours, they're going to actually be able to physically deposit that coin into their blockchain wallet. We think it's going to accelerate the momentum quite rapidly, because once people see the results and that the system works, because they just want to kind of test drive it, even on the smaller packages, we feel that that's going to create a lot of momentum for your organization, most definitely. The different plans that we're going to launch with, you can see 0.05 up to 4 Bitcoin. That will be 1% per day. That is going to be the passive side to the platform with COINXL. So you can look at a net 50% return on Bitcoin and passively in 150 days, which is a very, very good return. And on the binary side, you can earn from 5% to 15%, and that's going to max out at 8 Bitcoin per day in the binary bonus. And the binary, as you know, it's going to be paid daily, and it's going to be on the lesser volume team, okay? Now, after the launch, we will introduce the XL5 plan. It's already being developed, but there's a lot more programming that's involved with this. And XL5 will be the top plan that you'll be able to subscribe to. That'll be 5 Bitcoin, still pays 1% a day up to 150 days. Net 50% return, that's all the same. However, what has increased is we've increased the binary bonus from 15 before up to 20% payable on the lesser team volume. So it's a huge difference when you're talking in terms of percentage. And the maximum is going to be 10 Bitcoin per day in the binary bonus. However, for this particular plan, you have to qualify one time. And the qualification I went through in the video, I'm not going to spend much time on that here, but just know that you have to either upgrade or start at the XL5 plan. You have to personally enroll 2 people that also upgrade or begin at the XL5 plan, and each of those 2 have to enroll 2 at the same plan. So it's very simple. 2 who get 2, you're permanently qualified, you never go back, and it's a 20% binary bonus. And do the math on that. It's pretty incredible. All right. Here is the cutoff time, so that you guys, if you're taking notes, and ladies, it's going to be midnight London time. So I posted what the times are going to be. Primarily in the US, here in Bangkok, that's going to be 6 a.m. is going to be the cutoff. Now, unlike other companies, we do not have to go into a maintenance mode in order to calculate the commissions and the 1%. So there's another separate server totally on the back end for that. And so our site will be up 24/7 as far as our website. So you never have to worry about, oh my gosh, I'm right in the middle of signing somebody up. Is it going to go into maintenance mode and I'm going to lose this person? You never have to worry about that. So you just know that 7 o'clock in the evening, New York, that's going to be the cutoff time that you have, or 4 o'clock San Francisco time, to get in the last bit of volume for that particular day's calculation for the commission, okay? And hopefully everybody picked up on the picture there of Big Ben. All right, here is the infrastructure. You know, people have been asking me about this, and so I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. You can see COINXL, myself, Sarah, and Simon. And there's a huge team behind us. And let me tell you something, without this team, none of this would be possible, okay? I'm one voice, okay? But the combined effort that has been put together by the team in the background here has been nothing short of a miracle. Let me tell you something. These guys have moved mountains. So we have our servers. We have in the UK. They're actually in London. We also paid the full monthly fee to have a redundant server in an undisclosed location. And so it costs twice the money just on the server, but we wanted to take absolutely no chance with our data. You can do backup systems, and that's much less expensive. But what we decided to do was to spend the money and have a server that is identical in an undisclosed location in the event of, okay? So we have graphics and video production. The video will be coming out after the launch. They're working on it right now. It'll be less than 5 minutes long. It'll go right up on our website. So you can basically send people there, you know, to just get a 5-minute preview. And it's going to go through a little bit about Bitcoin, the history, and how it ties into our wealth accumulation platform that we have through COINXL. And then we have our IT and our back office. They're in charge of website design, development, hosting, everything to do with the website, including the back office. That is a major company. Probably the major expense that we have launching is going to be in the back office. And so we're going to be test driving that later on. So that, you know, that's pretty much why we need like the pre-launch for that 7 days, is so we can go in and basically test the system out. You know, it was built from scratch. It's ours. So we didn't go buy that off of a third-party software company. Every line of code in there was done by these guys. And I just can't really, I wish they were on this webinar, and hopefully they get our gratitude, because they did a phenomenal job. And then probably the star of the platform that you see here is the Triplex DX algorithm. Try to say that one fast 3 times. And that is the algorithm that is basically determining the trades, which is just an amazing technology. We've actually seen this in operation, and I can tell you it's nothing less than just what I would call a technical breakthrough to the 10th degree. And then we have member support. And what you're going to see with member support initially is going to be an email ticketing system. And probably within 30 days, it might take just a little bit longer than that, maybe 5 weeks at the most, then we will have live chat. So if there's a challenge that you have, maybe you signed up, your email address, whatever it could be, 40 different things could have happened, then you'll just be able to generate a ticket in your back office, and it'll go through support. And we have access to the admin side of the platform, so we can go in and help you in any way that we possibly can. So there'll be a follow-through on there. You'll have a ticket ID. We will have copies, hard copies of the entire conversation. And so that way there's no guesswork, he said, she said. We have everything in writing for every single ticket. So that way you don't have to be afraid, like so much to make a mistake. Before we told people to start small just to make sure everything worked right, because you didn't want to have to start with, 1 Bitcoin or heaven forbid 4 Bitcoin and there was a mistake. And we just don't want to see people have to go into the panic mode. Mistakes will happen. Hopefully they'll be minimized, but nonetheless, you've got a support team there in order to correct any minor mistake that may happen. Okay, the video is in production. Like I mentioned, it is less than 5 minutes in length. People's attention span just aren't any longer than that, to be honest with you. I know that the video I did when I did a presentation was like, 30 minutes. And I know probably half the people fell asleep or they just fast forwarded through there. I'm trying to deliver a lot of content to tell the story. And so we've got a video that can do it in less than 5 minutes, which is great. We've got an amped up PowerPoint that's in production. I should have my hands on that in just another couple of days. And again, this is, credit to the marketing department that we have aligned ourselves with that is taking care of this. So we are creating this brand, and it's going to affect everything from the PowerPoint to the video to all of our sales tools that are going to be coming. Okay. So I've kind of covered this. One of the nice things about the email ticketing system is that we're going to be able to actually populate a frequently asked questions library, because as the questions come in, there's only so many questions that people have. And then there's going to be that surprise questions like, oh, wow, we haven't heard of that one before. So any of those questions that come up, we're going to create a library of that on an FAQ, and people are going to be able to go through there, and they're going to be able to see the answers to that. So that will lessen the load a lot of times on member support. What we don't want member support to be is like your personal secretary, okay? Please understand, we're trying to do this to support the efforts of people that are building. We don't want to be there to teach you how to do the business. So don't write an e-ticket going, can you explain the compensation plan to me and how do the plans work? All those types of questions can be answered by the person who's bringing you into COINXL. So don't leave it up to our support in order to take care of those issues where you have a lack of understanding. This is a support system that is designed for correction, okay? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, here is the most vital component that I feel that we bring to the table, and that is communication. As you know, we had lack of communication in the previous company, and so that's not going to happen here. Updates are going to be posted on a regular basis. We're going to have a news section that's in the back office, so anything that is taking place with respect to the company, you're going to know about it, okay? We'll be sending out emails. That's why I've been asking people to go to the website of Bitcoin Billions, is because we can send updates to you. That's the purpose of there. If you read the email, you can see that's what we're attempting to do. So we want to get communication out into the field. We feel like that is the single most important element when you're building, is that you know exactly what's going on with the company every single day. And so that you don't have to all of a sudden get you in that aha moment. We never want the aha moment. So the lines of communication are open. What we're going to be doing in the near future, once we get launched and we get a feel of the site and what have you, we're going to form an advisory board, and there's going to be a qualification for that. And the advisory board is going to be made up of the serious people that are really working hard with COINXL to not only build their business, but they're coaching, they're educating about our space, for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So we want to have them on a board, and we act as a liaison. So any ideas that are coming from the field can go through the advisory board, and ideas from the company that we want to implement are going to go through the advisory board as well. So, your voices are going to be heard and represented, okay? The actual trading. This is the name of the algorithm. It's a triplex DX algorithm. And what it does, I mean, just to be simple in layman's terms, because I like to think in terms of simplicity. Simplicity duplicates, is that it simply trades in cryptocurrency blocks. Think of it like a mutual fund. You know, a mutual fund has many different stocks within the portfolio. And the way the algorithm works is that it's trading in blocks. And typically the top 20 cryptocurrencies. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to post the trading results in the back office each week. You know, the two questions that you had in the past that you couldn't answer are, well, who's behind it and where are the trading results? Well, now you know who's behind it, and then we're going to post those trading results in your back office. We're not going to put that on the front of the website. We're going to allow you to log in. You're going to see exactly what trades were made for that particular week and the overall percentage. So that when people ask you, you can say, well, here, I'll show you. Here's the results that we had just for the past week. That is an exclusive licensing agreement that we have on this. And the objective to be conservative is 2% per day. I mean, you see crazy numbers out there by, you know, companies that are doing the cryptocurrencies, you know, 5% a day. Good luck on that. I mean, to be able to average what 150% a month, that's going to be very difficult. But we feel through previous experience, and there's many people that have built accounts now, portfolios, which I'll talk about in a moment, that are hitting, you know, well above 2% a day. But that is a conservative number, and that's what we want to hit. That is our objective. Okay. We are also going to put a disclaimer on the web page. We're also going to have terms and conditions, which you must apply a digital signature to. You can't just click a box and say that you read it. The box will open up and you'll read through it. At least most of you will read through it. And then at the end, it's going to ask you to click another box, which is going to act like a digital signature. It's called DocuSign. I'm also a licensed insurance agent, and that's how insurance companies get you to, you know, fill out their paperwork now. You do everything online, and then you use DocuSign. That way, if there's any part or misunderstanding, then we've got this on file that you have read it, then you have signed it. Okay, and the terms and conditions is still a works in process. We're trying to protect this brand in every way that we can. Okay, so here is the disclaimer. You've probably already read it. Cryptocurrency trading involves risk of loss and is not suitable for every member. The valuation of Bitcoin and all other alt currencies may fluctuate. As a result, members should not invest more than they are willing to forfeit. They are reading that on our website, so there can never come back to us and say, well, I wish you had told me this and I wasn't willing to do this. We put a disclaimer right there. It's in terms and conditions. We are doing everything that we can, you know, to discourage people from actually being able to come in with more than they can afford. All right. And you should do the same. The exchange, we're going to recommend everybody set up an account with Prescott Regency. They're located in Hong Kong, and a couple reasons for that. Number one is that we've got much higher limits on Bitcoin as far as what we can purchase. The biggest challenge, you know, with some people is being able to buy enough Bitcoin, and you're restricted. You know, Coinbase is very tight, and you've got to build up a history before you can get any type of volume going there. And, the limits that we have at Prescott Regency, we've overcome that. The fees are also much lower. Hold on just one second. I got to mute everybody again. Okay. I don't know how somebody unmuted themselves, but all right. At any rate, let me get back to here. Just one second. Okay. At PrescottRegency.com, you can jump off of this call. You're going to need to do the KYC documents, know your customer, but you can jump off and go to https://PrescottRegency.com and set up an account for yourself. It takes about 48 hours. And remember the time zone difference. So, you know, upload the documents, try to do it correctly the first time. If you don't, they're going to send you an email saying that you need to do this. And, you know, once you have your account set up, then you'll be able to buy and sell in this exchange. And you'll also have a wallet that will be tied to that as well. Okay. Compliance. I hate to kind of go through this segment of the presentation with you, but I think as leaders, it's important that we want to protect this brand, period. So there's not going to be any income claim. Sorry about that. No guarantees of income. You know, in the previous company, there were people that actually in a video on YouTube were logging into their back office and showing their financial statement. And then copies were made of that video, and there had to be 50 different videos going out. And let me tell you something, that's what regulators love to see. They love to see companies that shoot themselves in the foot with no consequences. Well, there's going to be consequences on this. So I want to make this clear on this webinar, and then you take this to your leaders, because we are deadly serious about this. We want no videos or any pictures displaying any COINXL earnings or financial statements online or in a public gathering. A public gathering would be like a public meeting, okay? You never know who's going to be in your meeting. And especially Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, email, any texting services. I don't care if you got Messenger, Line, God, there's got to be 5 or 10 Kakao Talk, WhatsApp, whatever it is. We do not want to see any pictures or guarantees of income, okay? And last but not least, none of those automatic phone dialers. People hate that. They're going to call their congressman and go, this company keeps calling me about COINXL. We do not want that to happen. Look, this is a word of mouth business, okay? You get paid for your recommendation. So let's stay within the rules, and we don't have a compliance department because we've got you. We know that you're going to be all over these social media sites, and if somebody is out there promoting a video where they're talking income claims, I want to see it, and I want to hold you accountable for being able to find misrepresentations out there, because that's where the companies get into trouble. It's not because the company is doing it, it's the members. So at any rate, there's a new sheriff in town on this one, all right? We have a 3-strike rule that you are going to sign. It's in the document. The first offense is a warning, and we want you to remove the content immediately, okay? And we will be able to find it down. We will be able to find it. I mean, don't think that you can hide behind a fake email address or anything like that. We've got some of the best IT guys in the world behind this platform. We will find out who it is. Okay. The second offense, we will suspend the violator's account for a period of 7 days. Some people wanted 30 days. I'm thinking, you know, that's a lot, especially if you're earning like 5 Bitcoin a day. We want you to, you know, like in basketball, you know, if you get a flagrant foul, you got to pay a fine. Well, guess what? That's going to be your fine, is we're going to suspend your account for a period of 7 days. Third offense, termination of your account, and we're going to refund your Bitcoin. Whatever you started with, less the commissions or the bonuses that you've been paid, we want to return that to you right away. Why? Because we don't want you going and posting on a blog that we terminated your account and kept your money. No way, okay? We have documented evidence of the violation, and here it is, 3-strike rule. So we're asking all of you to please help us to protect the brand and the longevity of this company. And if we can all agree on that, we can have a lot of fun, okay? Pre-approval of all sales materials. I've already seen the websites out there, and they're even using COINXL in their website. We have some wonderfully talented, creative people, and we do not want to stymie your creativity. Trust me, we really don't. I mean, we are a marketing company. We just ask that in order to protect our brand, much like Google would do, or Apple or Amazon or any company, is that we want you to submit to us. And there'll be a special department that is set up, I don't know, like admin@coinxl.com or whatever it might be. Any marketing websites, any press releases, because we know that you can generate these press releases. I've seen it on the internet. Any sales funnel systems. If you've got a sales funnel system out there and you're trying to help your team, we applaud you for your forward thinking. We just want to see it. We want to make sure that it doesn't have income claims in there, and that you're not misleading people, and that you've got a proper disclaimer. Business cards. I want to see the logo design, or, you know, the copy that's going to be on a business card. I'm not trying to be picky. Again, this is thinking long-term, not short-term. Any brochure, proposed advertising copy needs to be approved in advance by COINXL. So just know that if you've got a great idea, just don't go to YouTube and upload a video. Don't just go to Facebook and start populating a bunch of information or content. Just show us what you want to do. And if we can make some suggestions, we will do it. And if we have no suggestions and we like it, we're going to just sign off on it. We're going to go, great. and we're keeping a log of the ones that we approve, okay? Now, a lot of you think that it's easier to get forgiveness than permission. Let me tell you something. I've used that line ever since I got into this industry back in 1982. That tactic will not hold water. Don't think that you can use that as an escape. I know some of you are laughing. You know what I'm talking about, right? So forget that line altogether. Take it out of your vocabulary, out of your consciousness. Again, I'm not trying to be harsh on this, and if I'm coming across that way, it's just we feel strongly about what we're doing, and there are a lot of families at stake here. We want this to be long-term for them, okay? And it only takes a few loose cannons out there to ruin it for everybody. So let's, be compliant and just kind of play by the rules. There's a lot of money that can be made in this without having to exaggerate. No need to, okay? Now, after the launch, we're going to have templates available for brochures, because a lot of times you're there, you're having coffee at Starbucks or Pete's or whatever your favorite place is. And, you want to give out some information, some printed material. And so we're going to have some brochures, a template available where you can actually put like a stamp on the back of it. You can go to your printer and print these out. We're not in the brochure business, but we want to make it available as a tool. We'll have the business card templates, many designs, and there's probably some very talented graphic artists that are on this call or they got access to it. If you got some designs in mind for this, send them through. I mean, look, man, we're looking for collaboration. This isn't just one way. We're marketers, right? So, show us what we need to do for the field, and we'll do it. So we'll have banners available because there's a lot of people that are very efficient, much more than me, that's for sure, about knowing how to pull down eyeballs from the internet. So we'll have banners that'll be available as well. So all that is coming. We just kind of want to get out of the gate. So if you want to ask these questions, because we'll get hit, one of the business cards and all that available, they're going to come after the launch, okay? So what we want to be known as is a wealth accumulation platform. And, the similarities, at least the story is the same within this space. And it's the same with COINXL. I mean, we're here to help people accumulate Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So what you want to decide for yourself is, what are your goals? What are your objectives for joining COINXL? What do you want out of the program for your family? Don't just say that you want a lot of money. Now that you have a lot of money, what do you want to do with it? So, is it for retirement? Is it for education? Is it for a foundation? Is it for charity? You need to kind of have a clear objective in mind before you even talk to your first person. How much in the way of Bitcoins do you want to accumulate? Do you want to accumulate 100 maybe by the end of this year? Make that a goal for yourself. Is it 500? Would you love to have a portfolio right now of 1,000 Bitcoins? What is it, about $22,600 today? What is that, 2.6 million? How about if you had 10,000 Bitcoins as an overall objective? Okay, it's here. And so what we want to preach more than anything is that COINXL is simply a platform for a person that can start with little quantities of Bitcoin, and by sharing the information with other people, we're going to pay a nice referral bonus on that, and also that the Bitcoin that you have can start earning a 1% daily trader bonus. That's what we're about, okay? So here's a simple plan of action that I think is pretty easy for most people to grasp, and that's this. Build a team where you're earning, on average, 1 Bitcoin per day, okay? We're not talking, with 7 positions and all this other. We want to really break this down to simplicity where people get it, and that is to build a team where you're earning just 1 Bitcoin a day. And all that takes is less than 7 Bitcoin in your organization on your lesser leg if you're at the 15% level. That's it. Less than 7 Bitcoin a day. It's actually 6.6, but I didn't want to do that because it's all sixes. Some people might think that's biblical, and so I wanted to kind of leave that out. So I'm just going to use less than 7, okay? Less than 7 Bitcoin at the 15% level is 1 Bitcoin per day. Multiply that by 7, okay? That's 7 Bitcoin a week, and then I'll let you do the math. And if I can get you, or this system can help get you, to 1 Bitcoin per day, I think the financial pressure and the stress is completely off your shoulder, and then you can really, what I would call, do this for the love of doing it, all right? So the final thing that I want to leave you with, and this is really important, is once a month we're going to do a special training, and anybody who would want to open up a portfolio, like on Bittrex, for example, because Bittrex you can actually buy and sell many of the cryptocurrencies that are out there, at least the top 50. Okay. And so I opened up my account and I showed people my results. I mean, on a good day, I'm well over 20%. On a bad day, I'm at like 1%. Okay. But at any rate, we're going to show you, for those that want to, I mean, this is strictly an option, is that we want to help people accumulate a portfolio of cryptocurrencies. And so we're going to show you how to set up that account step by step in Bittrex. You can start small with just, maybe a couple $100 in Bitcoin, and actually go through the process of buying a couple of the cryptocurrencies and watching that build value, for yourself. So once a month, we're going to do that. And again, it's optional. Again, we want to really kind of educate everybody within this space. I want to leave you with this. What I consider to be one of the crown jewels in this plan is when we launch our own ICO, and that is an initial coin offering, to where COINXL has its own coin in the marketplace that is registered, that you can go to Bittrex or PRElauncH and be able to buy our coin, and other people around the world be able to buy that. They don't have to be in COINXL. But the advantage that we have is the strength of this community. As this community hits 500, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 members, can you imagine the community strength that we have when we're talking about this coin and social media? Do you think that would have an impact on the price if you, being a member, took some of your Bitcoin and purchased your own COINXL, okay, in your portfolio? It is exactly like owning stock in the company. Instead of in shares, it's in coin, okay? So that's going to happen. I'm not going to give anybody a time frame on that. We are working behind the scenes to make that a reality. When it's close, we're going to let you know. But let me assure you this: it's not if it will happen; it's when it will happen. Okay. So this is what we have to look forward to as far as like our future, having stock in the company. And who knows what this coin can do? I mean, you start out at a couple pennies and it could go to $1, $10, $50. Who knows? But how many coins of COINXL would you like to have in your wallet at that time? Okay, especially if you know about it a couple of weeks in advance that this is going to be happening. All right, we want to keep it simple. We want to have fun with this. I didn't want to sound like I was punishing anybody when I was going through the policies and procedures, but I had to kind of like hit you over the head a little bit with a velvet hammer to say, look, pull back the reins. We can do this right with integrity. We'll be doing webinars, weekly trainings, live events. We're going to have special guest speakers come on that are experts in this field. We want to really have a voice in this space, and the launch date is just hours away. We'll let you know when that's going to take place so that you can actually go in. We need to do this kind of like on a schedule a little bit, so we don't create helter-skelter with one door opening and 1,000 people trying to get through. But we will do it as best we can, and we'll certainly give you the updates as we approach it, okay? All right, I have said everything that I need to say, and so I'm going to open it up now for like some questions, and let me see if I can do this to where I'm going to unmute everybody. Okay.
And some of my leaders have asked me this question, which is, I think, is silly, but in comparison to TCC, but they've invited a lot of leaders to their offices and somewhere, I don't know where that was, but they show their office and they show their trading platform and all this stuff. And so that's how they got all the recognitions and acceptance in Korean, and they did pretty well. I was like looking into, can you do something like that, similar to TCC, or how do you compare it to TCC with COINXL?
Well, to be honest with you, there's so many out there, it's hard for me to keep up on them, and I've been so focused on this, I haven't even had time to look up. But we want to do special events and like a leadership fly-in after we get going here. Bangkok is a great city to do that because we got some fabulous resorts here. And so
right.
We want to hold, mini contests in a way to where we can fly leaders in for a weekend and wine them and dine them and, get to know each other, more on a social basis, and have guest speakers that can talk about the crypto space. All that is coming if you just give us a chance to get out of the gate.
Okay. And then how many, can you do multiple spots? or just one?
Well, we're not going to promote that, but I'll tell you, you really don't need any more than 3 accounts. If you look
Right.
at the top of the pay plan there, you know, at XL5, you've got the ability to earn 10 Bitcoin a day times 3. That's 30 Bitcoin. Half of that you're putting back into the system to renew your contract for an additional 150 days. So your net is 15 Bitcoin a day. Let me tell you something. If people can't live on 15 Bitcoin a day, something's wrong with their budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Then,
that's all that we're going to promote. And we're just going to kind of like leave it at that. That's the only thing that we're going to talk about from the front of the room. But,
what kind of information do you need to register?
let me give you a call back after this webinar, if that's okay. Because I got
That's fine. That's fine. You got my number, right?
Yeah, you bet, Jaden. Thanks for joining us, bro. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you.
Oh, no, no.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
This is Abel Stevens from Colorado.
What we're looking to accomplish is 1% a day. I mean, you know, for 150 days, we're not trying to do 5% a day. We're trying to be as conservative as possible and yet believable at the same time. But we'll do another webinar to where we can actually get, you know, some of the people there to tell you about their screening process for the traders that they have. Most of the traders that are coming into this space, ladies and gentlemen, are coming from Forex because it's very similar. In the Forex, you're basically trading pairs on currency. And here you're trading cryptocurrency, primarily against Ethereum and Bitcoin. There's a lot of similarities, so the learning curve is basically next to nothing. If somebody's been successful at trading Forex, they come into this market and they go, this is a piece of cake, because it's simpler, okay? So
Rick, how long has the algorithm been tested?
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Okay, good question though. Next one. Hey, Doc.
Hey, unfortunately, I was doing a webinar while you just had this webinar, so I'm just jumping on the Q&A. So maybe you address this. Now, the thing that attracted me is the trading, the transparency, and then even the potential of following the bot. Does a person have to be at a certain level to be able to follow the bot?
Not at all. They just have to be a member. They can become a member with a package of 0.05 Bitcoin.
Now, if the bot is kicking butt, does that hurt from a networking standpoint? Might you not have some people who say, well, let me just do the point whatever 5 Bitcoin, but let me put more of my money in to my own trading account and follow the bot?
Well, we're going to show those results. I mean, you know, it's a good point, but there's so much that's available. I mean, we're talking a market cap just on Bitcoin alone that's at over 40 billion. And so we're not too concerned about that. And here's the thing. Most people don't want to take advantage of being what I would call, quote unquote, a day trader. They would rather have somebody do that work for them so that they don't have to concentrate on it. They can just build a team. I'm one of those people. If you put me in front of a computer and I had to be like a day trader, and there's still some, you know, some effort that's involved, even though we give you the feed, you still got to log in and manage your account. A lot of people just don't want to do that. But for those that do, we encourage you to do that. We're not trying to hide that. We're saying, look, here's the trades that we made with the cryptocurrencies in this particular block. And why don't you set up an account and just put in smaller amounts and just get a feel for it? We encourage you to do that.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, Rick, is that going to be available at the launch?
Yeah, well, the first 7 days, we're not going to accept any Bitcoin. It's just we're allowing the leaders to come in and put their teams and build the infrastructure. And 7 days later, then we flip the switch. And then, you know, you're going to have at that point X number of hours in order to pick your plan. And from that point forward, you know, in order to come on board, you will have to pick a plan from 0.05 up to 4 Bitcoin initially. But once we begin the trading, which we're already doing, you know, by the way, then we'll be able to post those results within 2 weeks initially, and then every week thereafter.
Awesome. Great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, Rick, I have another question. How can you upgrade?
Let me discuss the one thing that I didn't make clear in here, because I did do a video that's on Bitcoin billions when I went through the compensation plan. But You can upgrade at any time and you only pay the difference in the plan. And once you upgrade, that becomes immediate. And if you do it, try to do it before the designated cutoff time, which is 12 midnight London time. Okay. And then you can adjust your clocks accordingly so that you can get the increase in your bonus. We are charging an admin fee, but it is built into every package. It's not in addition to, it's already built in, and that fee is 1.75%. And that is to pay for the overhead, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's a very expensive. The servers are, if you had any idea what it costs just on the servers in the back office, because they're charging us a fee per person, can be very, very expensive. And so we're helping to offset that. It's still half the price of a credit card. But again, it's built into the package, okay? So when you upgrade, you just simply pay the price on the upgrade price, and then you start at the new plan.
All right.
Look, guys, there's many similarities to what we're doing with other platforms that are out there, but our message hasn't changed. It's a Bitcoin accumulation, and the fact is, we're not just talking about trading. I've seen some great copy out there. I'd love to hire these guys as a copywriter because, you know, they talk about their trading bots and how successful it's been and everything, but they don't show people the results. It's all just words, all right? At least we're pulling back the curtain, and once a week, you're going to be able to see exactly how well the bot performed. And anything above 1 or 2%, it's going into a reserve account. We're not going to hit home runs every single day. Some days we're going to hit singles, you know, and but we've got the reserve account that is going to be building kind of like a war chest, so that in the event we have, like, you know, Bitcoin drops by 50%, which it's known to do sometimes, you know, we're not caught. We've got the ability to recover through the reserve account so we can continue paying out. Look, there's some very smart people, you know, behind the scenes on this.
Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Alex Ruiz. Quick question for you, man. You know, I've heard about the war chest and all that. Well, I guess what my question is the company always going to pay just a flat 1% fee, or will there be some days where trading is better than war chest is big, where we actually get paid a little bit more than that on a daily percentage, or no?
Well, we've discussed that at length. And we feel that it's best that if we just hit like the 1% mark, that people are going to be happy with that if we can do that consistently. Anything that's going to be above that, unless it gets really, really big, then we've discussed that we can increase that. But we want to do that at our discretion and just surprise people. You know what I mean? Rather than saying that we're going to do something, there might be some days to where it will warrant that we pay an additional, you know, percentage, whatever it is. But by and large, we want to also prepare, you know, in the event that, you know, the whole currency market, you know, drops, we're not caught where we're paying people zero. You know what I mean? We don't want to do that.
Yeah, I get it. And then the 1.75% fee, that's per every time that you renew. It's not monthly or anything like that, just for clarity.
That's correct. You only pay it at one time on the package that you purchase and renewals. That's it.
Okay, cool.
And it's totally built into the plan. I mean, you know, we saw one company really shoot themselves in the foot that way, and we thought it was just mean, to be honest with you. We just thought it was mean. We don't want to be mean about it, but we want to be transparent and say, look, guys, this is what we need to run this, because none of us are taking a salary. It's all based on performance. So, you know, the admin fee is going to cover the hiring of the employees and the customer service and staff that up, and the servers. There's a lot of expenses, ladies and gentlemen, that you just have no idea about. This is a huge project. It's not just as simple as 5 web pages. I mean, there's an army of people literally behind the scenes that have really put in the time and effort. I'll tell you something. I wish I could just send them all to Florida for a nice vacation.
Rick, can you say anything about the structure? I understand there's 4 master distributors here. Are you guys all aligned in same legs, or is there 4 actual legs off of the company?
There's 4 actual legs coming off the company.
So there's no synergy there between the 4 teams.
Meaning what?
Well, you're all stacked together.
Well, I mean, you know, we're building too, and here's the synergy. The synergy is when we do the ICO and we drive the price of the coin up, everybody benefits. You know what I mean?
Rick, what time tomorrow will the first, I guess, invitations go out? Is there immediately as soon as the clock turns 0, or?
You know, I mean, the clock may turn 0. There might be like a slight delay after I get off this call. I've got another call that I got to jump into to where we can go in and kind of take a test drive. I've seen the website. It's absolutely beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. You're going to really like what you see. It looks so professional and so well designed, and yet simple to navigate and operate. The back office is also very simple to navigate. And so once we get close on that, yes, we're going to have a certain number of people come in initially and then allow them to bring in their team. And we're just going to try to do this in layers.
Awesome. Rick, any different languages in translation?
Yeah, that's a good question. From what I understand, what they've done on the back office is they've integrated this into Google Translate. There's a special coding that you can use that makes it very effective. And so initially, there's going to be about 8 languages. But what we've done is we're in the process of hiring translators to actually do the web page word for word. So, you know, Jaden is there in Korea, and, you know, we're going to have it in Japanese. We'll have it in Mandarin. We'll have it in German. We'll have it in Spanish. And it'll all be translated directly by professional translators in their native tongue. That's coming. So, you know, we just want to
what's the time frame?
I would say probably within 30 days. At least out of the gate, you're going to be able to do the translation that we have the coding set up through Google Translate. But after that, I mean, it's right now the copy is being generated to the translators. And then that's pretty simple to do. It's just a text document, and we're able to upload it and point the link to the server where it will change into their native language.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. You know, especially like for Sarah's group that's there in the UK. I mean, there's a lot of German, you know, speaking people, and so that was very important to her. And everybody's got their own language. And Jay, I don't know if we can do Hindi right away, but we're working on it for you.
Did you happen to discuss when they think they'll do an ICO on the coin?
Oh, it's going to be at least a minimum of 6 months.
Okay, got you. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, you bet. And that's what Sarah's job is going to be. You know, she's fluent in 7 languages. She's just an amazing talent. And so you're going to get, nobody can outwork her. That's for sure. So you're going to see, you know, support in these issues. And, you know, we're just kind of like building this, you know, together as like one big giant community.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Rick, I had a question real quick. Can you explain the security side of the company? You know, a lot of times I've seen these hedge funds, these programs, you know, come about and they amass significant amounts of money, amounts of Bitcoin. What has been done on the backside to, again, secure the money, even from the trading side? Can you explain that in a little bit more detail?
On the security side, are you familiar with the term cold storage?
Correct, yes.
Cold storage has never been hacked, okay? So the majority of the coin that we have that is coming in is going into coin storage. So
okay,
we're actually pulling out just enough coin to do the trading. That's it. So all the coin is protected. I mean, you know, even Coinbase got hacked, right? So, you know, here's the thing. A cold storage, it has never happened to date. Not saying that it can't, but in all likelihood, I mean, it's like having it on a Trezor, an example. It's completely offline in cold storage.
Well, I like the fact that you have a backup server in an anonymous place, which is understandable.
Look, it's not a backup server. It's an identical server. I
mean, I love it.
A backup server is, you know, that's like half the cost. I mean, we took the exact server, we doubled the price just to have it so that we would feel a higher level of security. There's no doubt. But we're going to have the 2-step verification, so we're not going to have the attacks, you know, as far as on login issues. So we got some really, really great people behind the scenes on the security that deal with this on a daily basis, and we pay them a lot of money, trust me, man. I mean, all this has been thought out to the 10th degree. It's been an eye-opening experience for yours truly, I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, understandable. Okay, so it's my understanding that the money that is being traded is going to be kept in cold storage until it's actually activated with the algorithm.
That's correct.
As an actual trade, and it goes right back in.
That's correct.
Okay,
That's correct.
perfect.
Everything is going into cold storage. I mean, we're not taking any risk whatsoever on that. I mean, last thing we want to do is shut down or anything because it got hacked and all that. That's why we have it's not even a mirror. We have a secondary server. Everything has been, thought of in advance, and, super firewalls and super sharp technology people. The best that money can buy is all I can tell you.
Okay, perfect. Nope, thank you.
And by the way, the site is never going to be down. We don't have to go into maintenance mode to calculate, the 1% trading bonus or the commissions. I mean, so you never have to worry about any downtime on the website.
Where do we get the schedule for the next calls or Zoom?
And if an account decides to stop, how long would it take for the account to get the investment back? Or what are the procedures that he or she must follow through?
Well, here's the thing. The contract is for 150 days. So if you come on board, just know that your Bitcoin is going to be tied up in the system for 150 days. Okay? So at the end of 150 days, I mean, look, you can go into your back office at any time and withdraw the Bitcoin as far as the deposits that are coming in from the trading bonus and from the binary bonus. You understand?
Right.
Okay, so
right.
you can take out that money every single day if you want to. It's up to you. We're leaving that up to the members, not to us. But at day 100, you would have received 100% of your initial investment back, 1%
right.
per day. Okay, the remaining 50 days is the 50% bonus. So at the end of 150 days, you're going to have 48 hours to make up your mind if you want to renew the contract or if you want to discontinue. It's going to be your option there.
100 days. Then, so does that include the weekends, like Saturday and Sundays?
It sure does.
Okay.
Every day of the week that ends in the letter Y.
Rick,
Yes.
just a side question. First of all, I want to thank you for your time. I know on the financial side, just like you said, there's probably been so many hours, so many hundreds of thousands of dollars to implement this type of platform and the integration of software development on the algorithms. It's incredible. Hats off to you for putting this together. Appreciate that. The last thing I want to mention is there any opportunity to get into mining for COINXL as a member before it goes public, or what is the process for that on the mining side?
Well, we've only discussed the trading.
Okay.
There are other sources of revenue that are available to us. One is the mining. And we can actually buy mining units. They're pretty expensive, but they're in self-contained storage units that are pretty much the size of a tractor trailer, if you can imagine. And they're self-contained. They cost about $2 million, but they can produce upwards of $500,000 worth of Bitcoin per month. We're already looking into securing that, and they've got units that are available that run on solar power, which is great because here in Thailand, we've got a lot of sun. That's already in the plan. The third option is also we'll be taking advantage of arbitrage, and an arbitrage is just something that we can buy in one exchange and sell in another and make a profit because the fees per exchange vary, some greatly. For example, in China, you're paying a premium for Bitcoin, and they're doing it, and so that is already in the works. So, we've got many different levels, and then plus, down the road, we can actually incorporate Forex into this as well. I mean, trading is trading, and, it's an overall platform, okay? Now, the last thing I want to address is that this is not me. Don't thank me for this. Thank a huge team of people that have really come together and have worked their tails off, night and day to bring this out in less than 45 days. It should have taken a minimum of 6 months. So I will pass on that information to the powers that be. I'm only one voice.
Perfect.
Hey, Rick.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
If I was any better, I think I'd be 3 people right now, but go ahead.
My name is Steve. I'm calling from Vancouver, British Columbia. I wanted to thank you, and as you have claimed in the last couple of minutes that it was just not you that made this happen, I want to thank the entire team of all the people that made this happen in the last little while. The question that I have is, tonight's presentation was amazing, and thank you for all of your support and effort. We as leaders who have been blessed to be on this chat, our downline business, because I'm looking for that link. I hope it exists. If not, then you know what? One person at a time, we'll build forward. It's all good. Thank you, Rick, for your time tonight.
No, you bet. No, I want to get the word out to people who didn't have a chance to, to participate, in the webinar for whatever reason. We want to make sure they get the information. I'm only debating if I want to include all the Q&A at the back end, but I'm figuring why not? I mean, it's live. It's not recorded, that's for sure.
It's real. It's real.
There you go. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. Any other questions before we sign off?
I appreciate all your hard work, and then say hello to Simon as well, please. Thanks.
I will. But in closing, ladies and gentlemen who are still on this call, I know we've gone. See what time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 9:23. Okay, we've been going 90 minutes almost. Okay, it seems like 10 minutes. We want to just try to keep this message as simple as possible as we go out there. Look, I know that a lot of people have been hurt, like in the past. And all I can tell you is that we're doing the best that we can here. This was something that was thrown into us, unexpectedly, I might add. And so we're doing it because we really love the space that we're involved in. I hope that we get that point across. And our message has not changed. It's Bitcoin accumulation. This is the platform to do it. We've learned from those that have made the mistakes before. And listen, we're probably going to make a few mistakes on our own. So don't expect perfection because we're people. And so if you just give us the chance to grow, just know that's something that we made a decision, a mutual decision for all of us to give everything that we can to this project without fail.